get this show on the road. Alright, welcome and good morning to the Friday Morning Commute. This is your host, Rovin Doug, starting his commute to work. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. I have had a long week, but it's been a fairly decent week. So, let's go ahead and get started and see what our Agent of the Nine has brought us to be salty about this week. So, today is week 18 of year 2 for Xur. This week he brings for the Titans, Ruin Wings. For the Hunters, Celestial Nighthawk. For Warlocks. He brings the Impossible Machines. Then we also have Exotic Helmet Engrams, and then the Legacy Exotic Primary Engram. So, for year 1, if you're missing any Legacy, or if you're missing any exotic primaries, go ahead and get the Exotic Primary Engram, because that will help you flush out that collection, but that only applies to year 1s. That's why it's called Legacy, because it's for the old stuff. Just remember that. As for the other things, I've actually not used any of those. So your best bet would be grab some 3 coins and just go Exotic Hunting Strikes, or PvP, or Trials, because hey, it's Trials Day. We're still a week out from the next weekly update from Bungie. So I know there's been a lot of grumblings and wonderings about what is going on. Now, Bungie isn't, just all out of the office. There's still people there. I can assure you that there's still people there, because whenever the Nightfall was borked on Tuesday, there were people there to fix it. Now, we're just not hearing anything about plans. And you know what? Maybe the community managers are, Deej and Cosmo, are trying to get everything lined out and planned and make sure all of the development buttons are in a row for the next upcoming in-game releases. If you remember back, I know I keep saying this, but we as humans tend to forget very easily. I know myself, I am one, and I can forget very easily. But if we remember back to almost the end of December, week before Christmas, last weekly update of the year, they said, we're bringing you stuff. 2016 is going to have some pretty great content. The problem is they just haven't elaborated on it. All that we know so far, all that we've known for 5 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe about a month, just about a month, is that we're going to be getting a week-long content like the Festival of the Lost. Okay? When, where, how? Not sure, but that's going to be coming up. Then in February, whenever they do the next weapon balancing patch, we're going to be getting a much larger influx of content. At least that's the way the weekly update reads. There's been a speculation about a dawning. No idea. I haven't heard anything. I'm sure there's something on Reddit that I'm missing. But it could be the next step in the story, and I hope it is. One of the things that I've seen mentioned, and I think it's very, very poignant, I think it's very on point, is the content for Year 2 Destiny, up to this point, has been spot on and rocking. I mean, there's a couple points where, night falls, people are upset about. I actually think they're slightly better. The rewards need to be bumped again, in my personal opinion. Let's not make it so you only get ghost shells or nothing. But the point that was made is that the amount of content in Taken King Year 2 was not meant to be rushed through. And I think that's what happened with a lot of players. They took their main character all the way through, did all that they could with them, and they did it very quickly. There was no pacing, there was no let's enjoy some of what Year 2 has brought us. And then we get to this point where mid-December, everything's stale. And, in theory, part of it could be blamed on Bungie, because why didn't you give us enough content to last us until your next release? On the other side, though, I think people had gotten so hyped up about Taken King Year 2 and just this dreadnought, this loot fortress, as it were, that in their minds they could pour hundreds of hours into it and hopefully not explore everything inside of it. That may be the case, but I think we as a community explored it in 48 hours. Not quite, but we got through it pretty quickly. And there's not much more that can be wringed out of the Taken King for some of the very hardcore Destiny players. They come back for the weekly reset because that's their chance at trying to get that perfect 320 character. Which for endgame, that's kind of where you get to. However, coming up, I hope we have another mechanic almost like the moments of triumph from Year 1 that give hardcore players a reason to stick around and assist out other, maybe not so hardcore players. The moments of triumph was essentially a checklist that said, hey, have you completed the story mode? Yay, nay. So on and so forth. And it covered the main areas of focus in Destiny. Crucible matches, patrols, public events, defeating Atheon on hard mode, defeating Crota on hard mode, defeating Skolas in the Prison of Elders, finding all the golden chests. All of these maybe known about, but kind of out of the way for a normal player, unless he had a great fire team to go with him. So it'll be interesting to see if we have this Year 2 moments of triumph. I think Bungie is trying to keep the regulars active. I think that's one of the reasons why they brought up the Refer a Friend. And I appreciate the content and their attempt to connect older players with new players. Because a lot of times, these newer players who come in are like, okay, this is fun. I can do the story mode kind of on my own. And strikes are somewhat okay with randoms. But you start getting to the later in-game gear, material, whatnot, and it starts getting harder and harder for these kindergartens, as it were, to find a community unless they just happen to stumble across one. And I've been lucky to stumble so many times to find awesome community places, awesome other streamers, and the awesome clan Dads of Destiny, which has been, for any of my activities, the staple of my friend base, at least on the Xbox 360. When I got my PS4, I already knew people who also had a PS4 that I could interact with and game with. And so I'm excited to see what we're going to get in the last half of Year 2. I think all of us were just really impatient. And, it's to be expected. You start hitting that content lull and realizing, this game is really good, but I want more. And we're almost to the point, in my opinion, that Bungie has let us hold on to that desire for so long that some of us are like, you know what? Nothing's coming. I'm just going to walk away. And I hope that if that's you, that you don't. You keep your ears open. You keep your eyes on Bungie's side. Next week, we will have a weekly update. If we don't, you'll see a Rage Douglas on camera. So, that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday, an enjoyable weekend. I hope the Trials map does not salt you as it did this past weekend, because it was a salty, salty map. In any case, thanks for stopping by. This is your host, Rovan Doug. I'm going to run down Xur one last time. He's got the Ruin Wings, the Celestial Nighthawk, the Impossible Machines, Exotic Helmet Engram, and a Legacy Exotic Primary Engram. Don't get the Legacy if you don't need it, because that's only related to Year 1 gear, specifically those primary weapons. So, thank you again for stopping by. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please check me out on YouTube. This is where this video will be going shortly. You can also follow me here on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch, all under the same name, Rovan Doug. And you should be able to find me on YouTube under Rovan Doug as well. If not, search Douglas Holman, Holeman, and I'm the guy with the blue and green hair with a really dark face. So, thanks again for stopping by, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye! See you Starside, Guardians. There we go.